Welcome to Vector Art with Google Drawings, and this time we're going to draw a car. So any object, any person can be drawn. Here's where I'm taking my reference, and here is the final product, which looks pretty good. Smooth lines and flat colors. So we're going to start off by going to the Google Drive and clicking on New. You could use Google Slides, but I find Google Drawings is a bit better because it gives you one sheet of paper here, one digital sheet of paper. You can adjust it, which you can't do with slides, and it's got all the same tools up here, including the line tool. When I click on the line tool, there's lots of lines, and Polyline is the one we're going to be using today. It is very easy to use, and so we're going to start by dragging and dropping the photo, my reference photo, onto the page, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger widthwise because the picture is smaller height-wise. So I'm just going to make it a little bigger. And to resize the page, you just grab on the bottom right corner in the triangle and you can resize it. It's very malleable. You can change it at any time, just like all the vector graphics. Now I'm going to switch over to the polyline. That's the thing I'm going to use. It's going to be an easy pattern to figure out to build anything you want. And when I'm looking at my photo, I'm looking for the biggest color. So I'm seeing yellow is the biggest color. Then there's black, there's lots of gray and white, but I'm going to use my polyline and I'm just going to outline all of the yellow and I'm going to overlap it. As I work with the tool, you're going to see I'm zooming in, and each time I click, it puts an anchor point down and I have a straight line off of that. So it gives you a series of straight lines and you're just clicking and moving your mouse along the edge of what you see. You can always edit things. This is your picture. The photograph is just something to work from. If you want to change it in any way, go for it. So you're going to see me go along. I'm zooming in. I'm going right along the yellow outline, the outline of the yellow, I should say, of the body of the car. And I am overlapping some of the black parts and some of the lights. Like here, instead of going around the wheel, there's no reason to. I'm going to come back and do the wheel. I'll cut across the wheel, cut across the bottom of the body. And I'm going to end where I started. So it's a lasso in effect. When I get to the end, it clicks, and then you see it's all a solid color with an outline. And so if I want to change the inside color or the outline, I'm going to click on outline or border, and you can pick preset colors or hit transparent, which is what I'm going to do. And I want just a solid color here. So I'm just going to click on a preset orange. And there we go. So that's how you can color. It's very easy. You can change the color at any point. So you can go solid, you could do custom, you could grab the color. If I wanted the same yellow as I see there, I can just use that and then boom, look at that. I click on the yellow and it turns yellow. I'm going to leave it orange so that we can kind of see the difference. Once you have the biggest part done, you can just slide it away. It's going to be in your way for the other detail parts. And so you can just tuck it down off the page in that moment. Now we come to just the next thing. So we're going to use the polyline, the same pattern as we used. So we're going to click and put anchor points around anything that we see that's black. And so I'm just going to go into hyperspeed here, and I am going to go over each one of these pieces. I call them details because they're sitting on top of the yellow. Black is a large part of this thing. And you're noticing that I'm not just doing the wheels alone. You know, any black parts that are touching each other, you can make as one chunk. So there's black there, there's black there. I'm gonna go up and do the windshield. The windshield has a few colors in it. However, I'm gonna make it more abstract and I'm going to make it all black. Same with the wheels down here and the windows. And I'm gonna include this wheel, and I could have done the smaller wheel. So let's just grab that too. And I'm gonna grab just this tiny little one. Now, when I get to the lights, you're noticing they're turning black, and that's okay. I'm going to change the color afterwards. Once I find the shape, I can select two things at once by hitting the select and then holding shift and clicking on another piece. And now I have both the headlights selected. And so this is a great trick for when you need to color multiple things the same. And remember, you can always change the color, the shape, of any of the pieces on this car at any point. It doesn't matter. That's the great part about vectors. You're not laying down brush strokes. You are creating objects that are floating in space and they are ready to change. Let's take a look at what the drawing looks like by itself. No reference photo. This is looking pretty great. You may find things that you want to change. I'm seeing this back tire. I want to change this. So if I select it, and then I double click, look at all these purple little nodes. I can now just grab any of these and move them around. So if I want to match that up, if I want to make the tire look more round, I can do that. This one's a little low. I'm just going to use the arrow keys just to tap it up, just to nudge it. And that's another little trick that you can use. Sometimes your mouse is tough to get super precise. And so using those arrow keys and then holding shift and the arrow keys will make it even slower. And you can place things very precisely. At this point, it looks good. However, I can always add more detail. There's so many different colors and color patches I could add in, like the mirror. And so you can try things without risk of wrecking things. So if I wanted to try a mirror that looks like a dark gray, a lighter gray looks good, it stands out. I could do the rims, I could do the license plate. There's so many pieces that I could add. However, I do like the way this looks. So I'm going to add in a background color by right-clicking and choosing a color. You could choose a solid color. You could choose a gradient is another thing that you can look at. I'm going to go dark blue so that this orange is really popping out. And once I'm satisfied with everything the way it is, I'm going to save this and download it. So I'm going to go File and Download. And usually it's best to do a PNG. A JPEG is great as well. I'll show you what a PDF looks like. If you save it as a PDF, it will maintain the vector lines. So when you zoom in, it won't get pixelated. If you save it in a PNG or a JPEG, it will, but that's fine. It's really easy to transfer those files and is great for submissions. So good luck with your project.